Chicago Med seems to be having some issues with its cast, and it's not looking good for the series going forward. It's pretty normal for actors to leave a series, but when they do, it's not always a good sign. Did you know that another Chicago Med doctor has been confirmed to leave? Well, stay tuned to today's video as we discuss how another doctor is leaving and why another left in the past. First up, another Chicago Med doctor is confirmed to exit in season 8. It looks like another doctor has now been confirmed to be leaving Chicago Med, and it's not a good sign for the series going forward. Chicago Med star Asjha Cooper has now been confirmed to have left the series and has become the second actor to do so during its 8th season. Chicago Med is another part of Dick Wolf's Chicago franchise and includes a whole host of series such as Chicago Fire, Chicago Justice, and Chicago PD. Chicago Med was the third series within the franchise debut, as its first season debuted back in 2015 on NBC after all of its characters were introduced during a backdoor pilot episode of Chicago Fire during season 3. Chicago Med is a show that follows the ongoings of an emergency department throughout the fictional Gaffney Chicago Medical Center. The cast included Nick Gehlfuss, Yaya DaCosta, Torrey DeVitto, and Rachel DiPillo. We are now in season 8 of the series, but with the most recent episode, fans were treated to a shock. In one of its latest episodes, titled "Mama Said There Would Be Days Like This," fans were given a shock when it seemed like Vanessa Taylor, played by Asjha Cooper, was leaving the series. In the episode, she announced to her biological mother that she was going to be leaving the staff of the hospital in the show. Many fans have currently speculated that this was the result of her being under fire for circumventing some rules to get important medicine for very sick patients. She told her mother that she has decided to take a different job up in the Philippines. Announced in a press release through TV Line, this insane surprise exit of Vanessa Taylor means that Cooper is not going to be returning to the series. During season 8, we have already seen another major character leave. Therefore, this is the second character in season 8 who has exited the series. There is another planned departure this season, but there has been no announcement as to whom that's going to be. We also have no news on what Cooper is going to be doing in the future, whether she will be moving to another series or she will be leaving the Chicago series as a whole. Chicago Med season 8's exiting doctors explained and what it means for the future of this show. As we have already said a few times in today's video, there have been 3 departures for Chicago Med. The first character to exit the series during season 8 was Dr. Dylan Scott, played by Guy Lockhart. He exited the series during the season 8 premiere after he was involved in a fatal car accident. This car accident killed his love interest in the series, causing him to depart. Though this wasn't previously announced, it was recently revealed that the third exit will be Dr. Ethan Choi, played by Brian T. He's going to be exiting the show in an episode that airs on December the 7th after being in the show since season 1. Vanessa's exit from the series was a huge surprise, so this shakeup of cast members is going to be crazy for the series going forward. 3 of some of its most famous characters have departed the series, leaving the cast in shambles. However, many fans are forgetting to think about how all of these cast members leaving should give the show a bit more room to breathe. With the exit of Vanessa, we're going to be getting a brand new Chicago Med storyline for Marilyn Barrett as Maggie Lockwood. Throughout the last 2 seasons of Chicago Med, we have seen a large portion of her storyline be connected through her relationship with her daughter, whom she ended up giving up for adoption. With more space for different storylines within the season now, we might be able to get a refresh of her storyline with some new material as they push forward into the 9th season of Chicago Med. What do you think about all this? Please let us know in the comment section below, and also tell us your opinions on all 3 of the exits from Chicago Med in season 8. And now onto some other Chicago Med news and information to wrap up today's video. Next up, why Rachel DiPillo's Sarah Reese left Chicago Med. One of the most popular characters within Chicago Med was Dr. Sarah Reese, played by Rachel DiPillo. She left the series back in 2018, and ever since, many fans have been wondering why she left in its 4th season. Dr. Reese had been a consistent doctor working at the Gaffney Chicago Medical Center since the show started back in 2015, with her first appearance being in Chicago Med season 1 episode 1 titled Derailed. The reason why she ended up leaving the series in the first place is something that we can trace back to the relationship between Dr. Sarah Reese and her psychiatry major mentor, Dr. Daniel Charles, played by Oliver Platt. Dr. Reese and Dr. Charles ended up having a tipping point in their relationship during the finale of the 3rd season of Chicago Med. Before she ended up meeting Dr. Charles, she had a clinical demeanor that caused trouble with her patients. This caused her to stop being a doctor for a short while in the show. However, eventually, Dr. Sarah Reese ended up returning to Gaffney Chicago Medical Center to practice psychiatry under Dr. Charles. Her mentorship under Dr. Charles Charles was a central focus throughout the third season of Chicago Med, and despite her insecurities about the job, Dr. Reese performed well and seemed to have found her calling within the medical industry. This was all until her manipulative father, Robert Haywood, played by Michael Gill, returned to her life as a patient at the medical center. During the first episode of its fourth season titled Be My Better Half, Dr. Reese decided to leave the Chicago Medical Center once again, but this time for good, to begin her new life in Texas. This was Rachel's last appearance in the series. Ever since then, viewers have been wondering why she left Chicago Med and what the actress has done since. As well as this, many people have wondered whether Reese is going to return to Chicago Med during the 8th season. Why did Sarah Reese leave Chicago Med? Dr. Sarah Reese left Chicago Med because she realized that her father was a psychopathic serial killer through Dr. Charles. Dr. Charles realized all of this before telling her and withheld the information in an attempt to protect her. However, as with the vast majority of secrets within the Chicago franchise, it wasn't long until all of the truths came out. Charles confronted her father with all of the evidence that Roberts had a heart attack, and he didn't even make an effort to resuscitate him. Reese witnessed this when she walked into the room, which did not help Charles's case at the time. She ultimately left, as she could trust no one, and especially those she once trusted beforehand in the hospital. Though she left, she did learn a lot of things as Charles increased Reese's understanding of psychiatry and helped her process her paranoia and insecurities that were holding her back in life. What Rachel DiPillo has done since she left Chicago Med, and is she returning? The final thing to cover in this video is what has the actress who played Sarah been doing in the past few years. Ever since exiting Chicago Med back in 2018, she has laid very low within her acting career. She has appeared in a few recent comedies throughout 2021, but hasn't done much since she left. She just wanted to get out of the acting space after having such a huge role within Chicago Med, and we can't blame her. As for if she is going to return to Chicago Med, there is a pretty large possibility. Showrunner Andrew Schneider reportedly said he remains open to that Dr. Sarah Reese could return if it was written in a good way. With whatever happens, Chicago Med is going to continue to pass its 8th season and carry on for many years to come. Many fans can look forward to watching Chicago Med every year as long as the viewers stay consistent. Please let us know in the comment section below your thoughts on Sarah Reese and her fully explained exit. Also, let us know what you think about how the actor has lived life after leaving her iconic role. Chicago Med is a series that we cannot see ending soon, as the viewership has been very consistent. The viewers also seem to love the storylines that are happening right now, so we can't wait to see what happens next. And that's the end of today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed this latest video, and if you did, would you please let us know in the comment section below? It would be very helpful. Make sure to like the video, comment down below, and of course subscribe to the channel with the notification bell rung. Thank you for watching today's video. Goodbye.
Dr. Manning and I were treating Parker, and then she went into labor. And
Natalie's in labor?
mm-hmm.